Hey guys, good afternoon. You are welcome to Catfish Solution Place and Academy. My name still remains Biodun Tutola, DTM, and this is the season 3 of my video tagged visit to Brookview Farm, Ibeju, Lekki. Once again, you'll be enjoying some of my verbal training, my physical training on this video as you continue watching, which I'll be lifting some of the voiceover off from the video so that in one or two ways you can tap from the advice that I'll be giving on this farm and you are using it. Maybe in one or two ways you need those information too as well in order to manage your farm. Before I proceed, make sure that you subscribed to this channel on YouTube. Press on the subscription button, that means the red subscription button by your right hand side of the video. Make sure that you click on the notification button. This will tell you when I release a new video on this channel, and make sure that you share this video, share to your friends, share to your loved ones that is interested in catfish farming, or maybe they are presently running the business or still want to learn more on the business. This is a great opportunity for you to share to your loved ones, to let them know the love you have for them, for getting this kind of a great and free information on catfish farming. Once again, today is May 4, 2021. I am presently at Brookview Farm, Ibeju, Lekki in Lagos. Once again, if you reside around Ibeju, Lekki, Epe, Lakowe, Shangotedo, Lekki Phase 1, Lekki Phase 2, Banana Island, Ikoyi, and you need to access a catfish farm, kindly contact me on the number you are seeing on the screen. I will direct you to the manager of the farm so that you can get a very good fish, maybe for your hotel, maybe for your restaurant, maybe for your visitors. Maybe you need a fish at the front yard or the backyard of your house in order to entertain some of your visitors. So you can as well come to this farm, that is Brookfield Farm at Ibeju, Lekki, to get their seeds, that means their fishes, for your customers. And again, if you need a mini pond, a glass showing pond, we at Catfish Solution Place are making a design for anybody that needs that kind of a pond presently, which will be shown very, very soon. This pond can be sited at the front of your house, and it will be made with concrete and glass, a fiber transparent glass, that when you have visitors, this will be showing and will serve as an entertainment and a tourist site at your front yard. We are going to beautify it with 3D flooring, and we are going to stock in very active seeds, big fishes if you want as well. This will be shown on this channel very soon, so that anytime you want, you can just place your order. So what I'm doing presently at this farm is that, one, I've gone around the farm and I have seen and I've corrected some errors on their day-to-day running activities on the pond side. This has been done in order to make sure that things get right in the farm. So now I'm proceeding to their feed mill section, which I've tested all the materials used and I've condemned the one that is not really necessarily used for fish, because there are some materials that fish do not need. Some of the materials that the fish do not eat are materials that are full of fiber, because fish need fast digestibility, and any kind of a much fiber ingredient may stock on them and may not be digested very fast. Fish has one of the highest and fastest respiratory digestibility gland, that when a crude protein is highly involved in their feed, they fast and easily convert it to their body tissues. So presently I've condemned some of the materials used on this farm, which I've given them a replacement. So I'll be opening the floor in a little bit for you guys to enjoy some of my training and later come back with my voice over. Once again, you are watching Catfish Solution Place and Academy. Listen and enjoy. So that can pump that. So where you are here now, since your water is not really revolving from the floor, you need at least to pump at least 8 hours every day. Minimum of 6 hours every day. You need to pump minimum of 6 hours every day. Every day to all the ponds that there is fish, because the base of your pond is not retaining the water, so that's why I can see the water going down. It can get to a time it will retain. Maybe if there's a lot of inflow, it may stand, but now you get more result that you needed, because one, it's not possible for us now to calculate your stocking density, this one, based on your water. Because if you tell me to calculate your stocking density now, if I want to calculate it, I will just say your length times breadth times depth. So that means if I said how many that pond there is, how many, what is the length, do you know?
The length of that one, 30 by 40.
Okay, if I said the length is 30, the breadth is 40, the depth
the length is 30, the length is 40, the breadth is 30.
40, 30. So times the depth problem. So if I want to say depth now, I say 1.5.
Not 4 feet.
Let me just say 1 point. Let me just say 2. Let me just add more to it. Let me say 2. So in this point now, you have a calculator. Yeah. Okay, I will calculate it. So you divide this by 3. You multiply it by 2. Why I'm multiplying it by 2? Because of the level. Even a stagnant system will multiply by 3. Your own is not even stagnant now. Do you understand? There's a, if I have another English to add more to the stagnant, that is how you can evaluate your pond. Because the stagnant system is that you have a water flowing from the floor, and the water level is retained the same water level,
but you are not really changing it every day. You understand? That means you change it once a week. That's what we call the stagnant system. But this one can be there for 1 month.
Divided.
And the water level just goes down. You understand?
3
So if you multiply this by this
times
by
2.
this divided by this times this, what will give you?
1,600.
1,600. So in this fund now, this is what you can put inside that fund.
That big for 1,600.
And you put 5,000. Error. So
I'll ask again. If I solve this
the
water issue, I can put 5,000.
The main launch you can put inside here now is just times 2 of this one. That is 3,200.
They can just do 3,200.
But if you put water, but the water cannot reach 3 feet. It cannot reach 4 feet.
That's 3.
Let's say 3. Multiply it.
So if I'm doing my lunch based on this your calculation, I can do 3,000.
You can do 3.
Times 3.
3,500 in this big bond currently.
Divided by 3.
Currently, based on the what I have now.
What do you have?
Divided
If
by
I'm doing table
times 2.
size, 1,600.
2,400. 2,400.
So with this one, if that means the water goes up, you can do a 5,000 per day.
Okay.
Do you understand?
From a lodge.
Yeah.
So here now we just solved your stocking density, if it is appropriate or not. Your feeding, I will still come back to this because there's still something. Your feeding efficiency. You said you fed them 3 times a day. How many kilos do you feed 3 times a day? Then, if you're having in order to guide, there's a guide that I do is actually in some of my books too as well. You understand? I have a book for my lunch, I have a book for go out, I have a book for feed formulation.
Do you have it now?
No, they are all e-copies.
E-copies.
I have for feed formulations, I have for diseases and control, I have for hatchery, I have CD for hatchery too. So let me just take part of the book to answer these ones. Feeding 3 times a day for fishes. You may feed 10 times a day. But if you are not feeding the percentage you need to feed, it won't work on them. 1. There's something, if you want to feed, you need to feed based on the nutritional content of the feed. Let me give you an instance. If you are feeding a fishes of juvenile size, you need a nutritional content of at least 45 to 42% protein. So if you are doing your formulation, is it up to 45% or 42%? How do you gauge it, man? Based on your formulation. That's why I asked for the formulation the other time.
Okay.
You see, what I'm doing so is that the analysis I want to give you now is on how to feed your fishes on an FCR, that means the feed conversion ratio of 1 to 1. Feeding conversion ratio of 1 to 1 is when you feed your fishes for 6 months or 5 months. You understand? With 1 kilo of fish, 1 kilo of feed. By the time you are weighing them, you have a biomass of 1 kg weight. You understand? Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
So you need to get this right from the start, from the hop here to get this. Because you are feeding a fish with 1 kilo now, just 1 kilo. That means if you are starting from juvenile, because we start counting feeding from juvenile. So if you are feeding from juvenile, you should know the amount of feed you are giving them. That means the kg of fishes you are giving them for that particular period of 5 months to not be more than 1 kilo. To give you an weight of 1 kilo. So if you are doing this, you need to follow the nutrients that your fish carries to build up their body tissues. You understand? At a particular given period, which is what I meant by particular period. That if you are feeding from juvenile, which there's an analysis I did to make sure that I got that my corrections right. That, you understand? By the time you overfeed, then, okay, another thing is that, okay, if you are even overfeeding and you are feeding with shafts, it won't work on them. There's something we call the feed conversion ratio. That means in every feed you buy, in every branded feed you buy, some of them write it inside. Do you understand? So when they write it, what it means by that is that you don't need to give them all this feed. If you give them just only 1 kilo, it will grow your fish at this also percent. It will build out the body tissue at this also percent. That means if you are not following the crude protein of that, if your fishes do not have any crude protein, you just giving them shaft. Like this one you see now is shaft. Just giving them shaft. There's no how you will mix. There's nothing you will mix with this one now that will give you a balanced formulation. If you are not careful, the concentrate you may be having when you are feeding your fishes for 2 months may be like 20% when you do the calculation. Do you understand? So what we do is that depend on the shaft you are giving them now. Depend on the because I need what I'm saying that your soya may have a crude protein of, let's say, 40 to 45%. Do you understand? So by the time you break it down with other ones, your GNC may have, let's say, 35 to 40%. But you just take the one in the middle to do your calculations. When we tabulate the formulation, I can see how you can tabulate it now. When we tabulate it, it will give you the exact food percentage of feed you are giving them. Madam, you see what I'm saying now is that we have gone around, we have seen everything. But what we are trying to do now is that we are trying to correct it from the base. Like this, you have not started business before. Do you understand? Because you have been doing it for a very long time. But this one I'm telling you now is, let us take it that you have not started the business at all. So let us try to follow this instruction and see how it will work. Do you understand? So I say 1 kilo to 1 kilo. So your feeding frequency now, if you feed just 2 times a day or 1 time a day, do you understand? And you fed them with the percentage of the intake they should take that will be there their body tissues, it's okay for them. But if you are just feeding them 3 times a day, 4 times a day, you are just wasting your feed. That is why you can see all those ponds. The water is not there. They are dirty. Do you understand? Because when the wasted food, and despite that you are even giving them sinking feed, when the thing comes to the floor, it becomes carcass. You understand? They melt away. By the end of the day, it disturbs the soil. It reduces the ammonia of the water. The fishes will not grow. Like that one I'm seeing that point, which you need to separate. So let us just say we are working on just 2 times a day. So the efficiency said if you are working on a, okay, before I jump to that one, there's something, if you're having a copens, let me say copens, you are using copens 2 mm. Copens 2 mm has the same size of 1.8 of skirting. 1.8 of skirting has a percentage of 60. I think copens has a percentage of like 62. Blue crown has a percentage of 42 mm, has a 42. Let me say they are selling about a kilo of blue crown for 400 naira. Do you understand, man? And they are selling a kilo of copens for 1,000 naira. The blue crown should be like 600 naira. So that means here we have 400 naira difference. But what people do is that you rush for this one because it's cheaper. So when you rush for this one because it's cheaper, they are forgetting that this one that is 1,000 has a CP of 62. This one that is 600 has a CP of 42. So that means 20. There's a difference of 20%. That 20% is not my mind. If you are doing it, as I said the other time, that formulation you are doing, if you are not careful, you tabulate it. If it's like 20%, that 20% is what you just exempted because of 400 naira. And look, if you are giving them this one, the formulation says, I will take it to that you have to give them just only 100 grams per day. So if you are giving them this one, say you give them 150 grams per day. So by the time you add this 50 grams to this one, you don't jump to understand all this one. That's what I mean by your feeding efficiency now. So what the feeding efficiency will tell you that you can feed them 2 times a day. But if you are feeding based on juvenile, you need to feed them because when I did my calculation, you feed them for 300 grams per day, 350 grams per day. So when you are feeding 350 grams per day, you divide it by 2. So you feed them half in the morning, half in the evening. This one will tell you not to overfeed at that given period. So you understand me? So when they are...
Please note that all the analysis you are hearing on the video are based on an example on how to calculate and to get the fact of your feeding efficiency. Your feeding efficiency in catfish farming is very, very important, that if you don't really understand what we know by the feed concentrate, you may not get the business right. So this is a viable lecture that every farmer needs to really understand. For example, once again, there's a difference between feed formulation and feed concentration, because I normally see lots of videos, lots of people practice and preach mainly on feed formulation, and they are forgetting about the feed concentration. So what I'm trying to break in this video is that apart from getting your feed formulation right, if you don't get your feed formulation right, your feed formulation will never be completed. So this will give a way for the correction of your feeding efficiency. So there's a practice I did later on, and I talked about juvenile consuming 350% per day. What that really means is that a 1,000 juvenile seeds can conveniently consume 7% of their body weight, which will translate to them taking 700 grams for feed per day at a particular given period, which all I said is well written and well explained in my book on how to raise your catfish. So if you need more details on that, make sure that you get my book on how to raise your grow out. That means there's a book for that which I titled The Secret of a Successful Catfish Business. The secret of a successful catfish business give in details how to raise your fish, how to weigh your fish, how to know the feeding efficiency of your fish, how to calculate your fish biomass, how to get your fish's FC out, and lot of things that farmers need to know, to digest, and to be trained. And again, there is a book I have which I title A Catfish Feeding Chart. This will explain, will analyze all what you need to know about growing your catfish. And there's a book I have for me, Launch Catfish Business, for those of us that want to go into my launch catfish business, because I really discovered and I realized that most people go into my launch catfish business when they fail. What did I mean by that? Most people stock just what, maybe you stock 1,000 of fishes in your pond and your fishes are not really growing. That is when you will call the melange buyer to get those fishes. These are very wrong and you can never make a profit. In every aspect of this business, you need to calculate. calculating on following a feasibility studies to guide you through the business. Once you plan, you will never fail. So what I meant by that is that if you are running a melange, you know you are running this fish as a melange. There's a stocking density you need to follow. So following the stocking density will guide you through how to be successful in melange catfish business. So I had a breakdown book for that too as well, which I titled The Guide to a Successful Melange Catfish Business. This is the book that many people have gotten and they are giving great testimonies on all my social media handle. So you can also get the copy of the book as well. What you are seeing us doing is that we are doing a lot of interactions. We are calculating the water liters on how to get all things right in the pond I just mentioned. So all these you'll be getting when you invite an expert to your farm to train, to guide, to see what uh, you have been doing, maybe it's right or wrong. In any little information that you get may change the horizon, may change uh, uh, some of the uh, bad lucks you have been doing in the farm. So, getting an expert to visit your farm, uh, to monitor your farm, to correct your farm, I said earlier on, it's like you getting an external auditor to straighten your journal. So, all this is what we are doing. We are in the question and answer season. So, if once again, if you need a training, make sure that you chat me on my WhatsApp line 080 330 401 36. So, as you can see, I've round up and I'm doing some little introduction. I'm asking question. We need to advise to give the potentials of what you have on stake. Maybe sometimes some farmers don't really know what they have on stake. So we need to relate with your workers to see what they have inside them. So I need to stand with them one on one to really have an interview with them to show, to see the passion they have in the business. As I said earlier on, if you have workers in your farm and your activity, the productivity is not really worthwhile in serving them, it doesn't really make sense. So, if and two, if you are giving them salaries, that means you are killing your business since your product is not really working for them. So you need to drive them. You need to see the passion they have. They need to have the same zeal you have, even more than you, in the business because they know that is what their stakes lies on. So that is why I put most of farm workers on a commission basis so that they will really take the business as their own. Once again, my name still remains Biodun Dutola DTM, the anchor of Cartridge Solution Place and Academy, where we give free trainings on cartridge farming. Where in Catfish Solution Place we have our mentorship online mentorship program. You can also subscribe to it. It's not free, so we give you a day-to-day uh, daily guides on your farm. Get the copy of my books. I have a books on archery too as well. I have a video which people have been buying from abroad, anywhere they have been buying it from Malawi, Gambia, Tanzania, America, London, Canada. They have been getting it, so you can as well get that to train your managers on how to be successful in catfish archery. And I have an ebook too, inclusive, which you can get as well. I have a book on catfish diseases, common diseases, and treatment, which will really help and guide you. Once again, thank you for subscribing to my channel because my channel just clocked 1000 subscription. So we are now live on YouTube. Make sure that you be part to power it to greatness. Thank you once again. My name still remains Biodun Odutola, DTM, the anchor of Cartridge Solution Place and Academy. If you need any of our assistants, make sure that you call this number you are seeing on the screen, and if you have any challenges in your farm, we will be there to take it up. Thank you.